Hello students, welcome everyone. Yes, we are continuing with our chapter number 5, separation of substance. Okay, now till now we had learned about at least 5 methods. Okay, and now we will continue after that. Okay, so first of all we have to learn that concept of sedimentation. So what do you mean by sedimentation? Okay, so whenever you dissolve anything in a water, okay, for example that the things are not that things cannot dissolve in that water. Okay, if that things will be you will dissolve for some time, and after some time you will see that all the heavy particles they are settled down. Okay, so this thing which is known as sedimentation. Okay, we had learned this definition because we are going to use in our next method of that separation. Okay, that is decantation. Okay, so in this method it will gonna use, so you have to keep in your mind that what is sedimentation. Clear? Now our sixth method, it is decantation. Okay, so what is decantation? When we separate insoluble solid particles, for example, we can take the example of soil. Okay, if we will dissolve soil in the water, and after that what we have to do? We have to do the process of sedimentation. Okay, so what happens in sedimentation? When you put that beaker for some time, and after some time you will find that the heavier particle that will be settled down at the beaker. Okay, and above that layer, that heavier particle, and above that you will see that there is the clear water. That is the clear water. Okay, so how we can separate this? Okay, now see, there are two layers are there. One is the solid particles, they are settled down at the bottom, and the water particles, they are the above. Okay, now what we will do, we will take some another beaker and we will put rod on that so water cannot fall outside this beaker. Okay, so it will help to directly water go in the another beaker. Okay, so what we will touch that glass rod, and we will throw that water through the glass rod, and it will settle, it will be collected in the next beaker. Okay, so this way we can separate that insoluble solid particles from the water. Okay, so this is about the decantation. And one more thing you have to keep in your mind, that is, we cannot separate a miscible liquid or soluble liquid or soluble solid. Okay, because they will dissolve in the water. So how we can do the sedimentation? Okay, and we can also separate an immiscible liquid and immiscible liquid. For example, we can separate the oil and water, because the oil, it is not gonna mix with the water. So by decantation we can also separate that oil and water and other material that can not dissolve in the water. That we can separate by the decantation. And our next method, that is what? Loading. Okay, the seventh next method, that is loading. Do you know what is the meaning of loading? Yes, when I will put some extra weight on you, and then I will tell you go and put that material at the next room. So what you will do? You will carry that material. That means what? You have put some load on your body. Clear? So what? I can say that I have a loading on your body. Right? The same way, in this method, this concept is used. What? Now there is the mixture of muddy water. Okay, now I want to separate that muddy particles or mud particles and the clear water. So how I can do? I can separate by the loading. In this method, what I will do, I will take that muddy water in a beaker, okay, and stay for some time. So what happened? Some heavy particles, they will be settled down, and still there are some small particles, they are still floating in the water, but that we cannot see. So what we will do now, at that time we will take one alum. Alum, it is one solid particle. It is look like salt. Okay, it is a kind of crystal only. Okay, so what I will do, I will just stir that alum in that liquid. Okay, so what happened? This alum, they are the heavier particle. They can not float in the water. The alum particle, they will be settled down. So what happened? Yes, now when we dissolve these alum particles in water. So what happened, that alum particles, they are settled down on they will deposit on that clay, okay, that undissolved clay, and slowly that all things will be settled down. And after some time you will see that the above particles, that water, okay, above things, that is what, water, and the below things, that is what, that muddy particles and muddy water, okay, and above that will be clear water. So this is about the seventh method, that is what, loading. I hope you have cleared your doubt. Now the next method, that is what, filtration. Okay, this is our eighth method. What it is about, the filtration. So what do you mean by filtration? You have heard so many times, yes, you have that filter water at your home, it will be remove that all the unwanted particles that are dissolved in that water. Okay, so what, after filtering you will get only the clear water. Okay, so what, it will filter something that is not needed to drinking, it should not be in a drinking water, right? So same way we are also doing so many process in our regular life, okay, but we don't know that is what filtration. See, in the morning, okay, during the breakfast, your mother, it is what, it is, she is separating that tea leaves from that tea. Okay, so this is what, this is the example of filtration, right? And when we what, store that drinking water, so at that time we will put some net on that, okay, and after that we will put that water in that container. So this is what, it is also kind of filtration. Clear? So this is filtration which is used in our daily life, and in a laboratory there is a special kind of filter paper are using. Okay, they use a special kind of filter paper. Okay, they are very small, and what we can say, the unwanted particles, they cannot pass through that paper, and this will be collected on the above layer, and only the water or liquid can pass through it. Clear? So this is about the filter paper, and you can see this is the image of filter paper, and we can use this filter paper to filter some different particles from that liquid or from that water. Clear? Now there is a next method, that is ninth one. It is about the evaporation. Do you know what is the evaporation? You have learned in a fifth standard that when you put the water in a bowl in a daytime at the terrace, and after some time you will see that the level of that liquid, it is going down. Okay, so where that water is went, this water, it is evaporated because of the sunlight. Okay, so what evaporation means, what, that water, it is now in a liquid state. When it will get the heat, and after that that liquid particle will be converted into gaseous particle. So we can also say that it is a water vapor. Okay, when your mother is cooking something in a pressure cooker, at that time the vessel, it will give some sound from that vessel, and some smoke which is coming out. Okay, what is that? Actually it is the water vapor. Okay, so how the water is converted into water vapor? Okay, that process which is known as evaporation. Clear? When we boil something at a temperature, and after that what, from the water some smoke which is come out. Okay, that is what? It is what? The gaseous form of that water, and which is known as water vapor. Okay, and when this water from liquid state to it will convert it into gaseous state, and that method which is known as evaporation. Now we can use these things to separate some particles from the water. Okay, so what we can take the example of the salt. How we get the salt? We get the salt from the seawater. Okay, and the seawater, it is the mixture of so many minerals. That is why it is giving that salty taste, right? And we can obtain the salt from that seawater. How? See, the people, they are making one square type structure on the land. Okay, and when the water will come, and it will store in that square, and after some time that water will pass away. So at that time what happened, because of that sun rays, the water which is stored in that square area, it will be evaporate. What happened? the water particle will be converted into gaseous particle. So what happened, after some time you will see that the water level in that square area, it is going down. Okay, and after some time you will see that it will be completely dry up. There will be no water particles, and you will see that the white color material, they were deposited on the land. So what is that? That is the salt. And water, it was mixed with that salt. Now it is converted into gaseous form, and it is go away from that mixture. Okay, so this way we can use this evaporation method in our daily life. Okay, and this is the best example from which we get the salt. Clear? Now the next method, that is 10th, which is distillation. Okay, now what is distillation? Actually, where this process, it is done after the evaporation. Okay, now you have understand about what is evaporation. Yes, when the water it is converted into gaseous form, that is what evaporation. Okay, now what we will do, we will get a water in a liquid state from the gaseous form. Okay, now we will get the water from the gaseous form. Okay, that process is known as distillation. So how we can do? Okay, we will do, yes, we will take one vessel. In that vessel we will boil some water. So what happened, that will be converted into water vapor. Okay, and when we condense that water vapor, then again that gaseous form of water, it will be converted into in a liquid form of water. Understand what happened? Yes, when the vessel, in this vessel, the water is boiled and it will be converted into water vapor. Okay, and after the condensation, how we can do? Yes, we can put some ice water or cooled water on the pan, and we can collect that water in a liquid state, which was converted into the gaseous form, and we can collect in another beaker or another vessel. Okay, so by this way we can obtain a very clear form of the water. Okay, there will be no any kind of particles in that water. So this is what the distillation, and in this diagram you have seen that how we can do. Okay, so I hope you have clear about all these 5 methods in this chapter that we have discussed, and now there are total 10 methods of the separation, and I hope you all are doing well and you are understanding all the methods, and they are very useful in our daily life. Okay, so you have to keep in your mind that, and this will be very helpful in your